From the Hussman School of Journalism and Media at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, covering the full range of Tar Heel athletics. This is Sports Extra.
It was a ninth inning collapse last night at the Bosch for the Diamond Heels, but there's still 2 more games to play to try to win the series. Good morning and welcome to Sports Extra. I'm Isabella Geskos.
And I'm Olivia Mundorf. Thank you for joining us. On Thursday night, the Diamond Heels took on Miami in the first game of a 3-game series, looking to extend its lead for second place in the ACC Coastal Division. After a quiet first 2 innings, Lorenzo Carrier blasted a booming solo home run over the left field wall to give Miami a 1-0 lead in the top of the third. The Canes plated another run to make it 2-0, but Carolina responded in the next half inning with this bomb of its own, a 3-run home run by Hunter Stokely that put the Heels in the driver's seat 4-2. As it has been all season, Carolina's bullpen struggled down the stretch to hold the lead. Blake Sire tied the game with this solo shot in the 6th, and in the 9th, with runners on 2nd and 3rd, a suicide squeeze by the Canes brought the winning run across home plate. The Heels went down 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 9th and fell to the Canes 5-4 under the lights. After sweeping Pitt last weekend to improve its record to 17-24, the UNC softball team returns to Anderson Stadium to take on Syracuse. The catalyst of the Tar Heels' 4-game winning streak has been sophomore Lily Bax. During the stretch, Bax has pitched 25 1/3 innings, striking out 22 batters. She'll look to shut down a struggling Orange team whose record is 13-19-1. The Syracuse offense is led by first-year Madeline Lopez, who leads the team with a .361 batting average and a .956 OPS. With just 3 weekends left, a UNC series victory would go a long way in clinching a spot in the ACC tournament.
Get those 4s up because it is time for some Carolina football. The Heels are back in Kenan Stadium for the annual spring game tomorrow as fans get their first look at some new faces in Carolina blue. The offense is obviously led by redshirt sophomore quarterback Drake May, who is coming off a Heisman-worthy season, throwing for over 4,000 yards and scoring 45 touchdowns through the air and on the ground. Now he's going to have to find his new favorite targets with Josh Downs and Antoine Green headed to the draft. But the run game should be established with Elijah Green and Omarion Hampton set to lead the backfields for another season. Kickoff is set for 3 p.m. With more on UNC football, we have football equipment manager extraordinaire and part-time analyst Jay Banzit. Jay?
You're on the money, Bella. We have an exciting afternoon coming to Kenan Stadium tomorrow. New impact transfers that we're going to look at are combining with prominent, highly touted recruits over the past couple of years, rising into new prominent roles, and new coaches sprinkled on both sides of the ball. And as you mentioned, all combining with the reigning ACC Player of the Year, who's somehow significantly gotten better in just 4 months since we got back from San Diego. Drake, I need an explanation. Let's take a look at what's going to excite Tar Heel fans for the 2023 season. So the first new guy we're going to have, Tez Walker. He's going to wear number 9 for us. He's in the slot up here at Kent State. They are at the Georgia Bulldogs, who just went undefeated and won a national championship. He's going to catch this little screen pass. Nothing complicated. Just 3 steps to his left. The Georgia safety makes the wrong decision, leaves the fast lane on the sideline wide open for Tez. And Tez records the fastest speed in college football last year on this play. You'll see him absolutely bolt down the sideline. This is who's going to be on the right side of our offense this year with Drake May. I think he's a faster De'Ami Brown from a couple years ago. Carolina fans, for a little comparison. Nate McCollum, Georgia Tech transfer, is going to be in the slot with Kobe Pacehour a lot. You're going to see him here against Miami. He's quick enough to get off the line of scrimmage. He's going to stack this slot corner. Corner's now chasing. Nate's going to get to the near side corner of the end zone. Athletic enough to make this catch, a good throw by that quarterback. That's who's going to be working in the slot. And then defensively, we're going to have Elijah Huzzy. This is against Mississippi State. He's a transfer corner from East Tennessee State. So in SEC country, at an SEC opponent, he's playing. He's going to at the top of the picture. They're going to throw this ball to the top of the screen. Quarterback wants his receiver to go outside. Huzzy's carrying the receiver inside. So this ball is supposed to land on the ground incomplete. But Huzzy's in phase. He's athletic enough to get over his left shoulder without baseball turning and go pick this ball off against Mississippi State for a turnover. 3-17, not too great, but certainly a very welcome sight for a Tar Heel secondary that struggled to turn the ball over last year. And then another returning secondary player. He's been here before. Jaquarius Conley, led us in tackles 2 years ago. Agent Zero in the back end at safety. You just saw him disappear off the picture. Brendan Armstrong's going to throw this ball This ball should be incomplete. This is good coverage, but JQ's athletic enough to jump up, make the pick, get his feet down, inbounds, force a turnover. Carolina, we needed a whole lot of turnovers last year. In his absence with a torn ACL from the year before, we didn't really have any turnover making in the secondary. So Walker, McCollum, Huzzy, and Conley will all be looked upon to help Drake lead this team past the 10-win hump that Coach Brown so desperately wants to get beyond. And we'll see each of them tomorrow at 3 p.m. Bella?
Jay, you see these guys almost every day. What are you expecting from the spring game?
I'm going to expect a very complete package. We saw Tez Walker. He's going to be a superstar, I think. Nate McCollum is going to be really good on offense on the slot. The offensive line should be improved with the new offensive line coach, Randy Clements. And then on defense, you've got Sen Power coming back, 2 leading tacklers, and a completely revamped secondary. New corners coach, new personnel in the back end. Tayon Holloway is going to be really good. He's a former 4-star, was a freshman last year, getting acclimated, but he's going to be in a prominent role. Just a better defensive package, and then obviously some new weapons for Drake to play with on the offense.
Okay, so here's the real question. What are the odds you steal some equipment and get on the field tomorrow?
You know, as much as my high school playing self would love to play tomorrow, I really don't have any business on the field with these guys. Tez would run right by me. Drake would throw it right over me. I'd get pancaked by the offensive line. Like, it wouldn't be too fun.
Thanks, Jay.
The revamped Tar Heel basketball roster is getting a little bit more help from a fellow ACC member. Jalen Withers is returning to his home state next year and coming to rep the Carolina Blue. The 6'8" forward spent his first 3 years at Louisville, where he was a solid role player for the Cardinals. Last season, Withers averaged 9 points per game, but the number that Tar Heel fans will love to see was his 40% three-point accuracy. The Heels hope Withers can provide a bit of outside shooting and wing depth.
To recap a timeline for how the transfer portal has affected Hubert Davis' squad, let's turn it over to men's basketball analyst Joshua Dolgoff. Joshua?
Bella, it has been a wild ride this offseason for the Tar Heels. In case you've missed anything, let's get everyone up to date with what's been happening. Let's start March 13th. Tyler Nickel, one of 4 players over a 9-day stretch to enter the portal. He's going to be playing at Virginia Tech. He was followed by Justin McCoy, who went to Hawaii for his grad transfer year. Georgetown got a good one. Dontrez Styles, he's going to play for new head coach Ed Cooley over in Georgetown. And then probably the biggest one up to this point, Puff Johnson. He also entered the transfer portal 6th man this past season. But Tar Heel fans, don't worry, because just a few hours after that, Armando Bacot announced that he was going to be coming back to Carolina for his 5th year in Tar Heel Blue. A couple days later, RJ Davis also announced the same thing. So we got a pretty good squad. Bacot, RJ Davis back, both definitely Tar Heels for life. But the main question, what's going to happen with Caleb Love? Well, we found out March 27th as Love announced he was going to enter the transfer portal. He then committed to Michigan to play for Juwan Howard, try and get to the next level, ending his very up and down tenure with the Tar Heels. That brings us to present day. Who did we get back in the portal? We got Paxton Wojcik, Brown transfer, averages 15 a game, 38% from 3, and then the Withers news earlier this week. But the main thing for me is who is next? Is it going to be a Harrison Ingram who, coming from Stanford, 6'7" wing? Could it possibly be Mackenzie Mbako? Duke decommit just a couple days ago. Let's see if we could steal him potentially from the Blue Devils. And then another guy who's been on our radar for weeks now, Nick Timberlake, Towson transfer, 17 points a game, but he's getting looked at by some top programs, UConn and Kansas. Those are other schools up there. So there's your UNC transfer portal timeline. I'm very excited to see who's going to be back in Carolina Blue.
A top 5 throwdown. That's what we'll be seeing at the Colin Kenfield Tennis Center this afternoon as the #1 Heels host the #3 ranked Blue Devils. It's a numbers game today, and here are a few possible matchups. #1, Fiona Crawley taking on #4, Chloe Beck. #10, Reese Brantmeyer taking on #40, Emma Jackson. And #16, Carson Tangleague, likely facing off against a familiar face, #73, Cameron Mora, who was just on the Carolina tennis team before joining the Blue Devils. Not to mention Duke's doubles duos of Georgia Dummy, Ulia Brizgalova, as well as Karolina Barankova and Emma Jackson so far this season are undefeated. This matchup is the 93rd meeting of these two schools in women's tennis. Duke currently leads the series 47-45. This match will kick off at 3 p.m. For more about this team's regular season finale, let's go to our tennis analyst, Kyle Lobenhofer. Kyle?
Bella, this team is battle tested. They always find a way to win. It doesn't matter if somebody has an off day and drops a match. The team is so strong that somebody else will lift them up and take that lost point right back. We saw this exact scenario in the semifinals of the ITA National Indoor Tournament against Texas A&M this year. The team knows how to battle. And how do you build a team that knows how to battle? You build the team with individuals who battle. and no one embodies that more than top-ranked Fiona Crawley. Against NC State last week, Fiona lost her first set to the 13th-ranked Alana Smith. I was chatting with Crawley's teammate yesterday, Sarah McClure, who said she's not even worried if Fiona drops a set. Why? Because she knows how to battle. Early in her match, Crawley was getting run all over the court. Smith would alternate which side of the court she would hit the ball to, forcing Crawley to run all over and play defensively rather than try to hit winners. But she battled. By the end of the match, Crawley was giving Smith a taste of her own medicine, running her all over the court, playing offensively rather than defensively. You'll see here that Crawley plays the ball just far enough where that Alana Smith can't get to it, and she'll end the match winning in 3 sets and a tiebreaker. With the end of the regular season later today and the ACC tournament commencing next week, you want to be battle tested. The postseason is going to be an absolute battle, but I'm confident in this team and this lineup to weather the storm. Bella?
Thanks, Kyle. Let's see if the Heels can battle to an undefeated regular season this afternoon. Olivia, are you going to be there tonight?
I am going to try to make it. I mean, anytime it's UNC versus Duke, end of the regular season, I think we should go.
I know. And we have a familiar face, Cameron Mora, coming back after being a Tar Heel for 4 years. You got some rivalry going on. It'll be so exciting.
Yes, very exciting. And they're not the only one with a big matchup this week, because women's lacrosse team is facing its biggest challenge yet this season as the #1 ranked Syracuse Orange make their way to Dorrance Field. The Tar Heels are coming off of back-to-back victories against the Pittsburgh Panthers and the East Carolina Pirates, but it's going to take a much stronger team effort than the Heels have shown in some big-time matchups this season. The Heels have been dominant winning at home, winning all of their games at Dorrance, but they're facing their toughest opponent yet this year. Syracuse heads into this one undefeated on the season at 14-0 and have looked every part of the best team in women's lacrosse. The pivotal match is set for noon on Saturday. With more on what the Heels need to do to shut down Syracuse, here's women's lacrosse analyst Caroline Yaffa. Caroline?
Well, Olivia, what leads to back-to-back natties? It's a no-brainer. But winning. But even if you're ranked #1 in the country, or in UNC's case 5, you can't just pull out a win in the fourth quarter every single game. Fans hope that the game on Tuesday against ECU, even though it resulted in a victory, was a huge wake-up call for UNC. As the Tar Heels, in my opinion, played the most anticipated matchup of the season, they have only one option. It's to win. A loss means dropping out of the top 5 and giving Syracuse the confidence they need going into the ACC and NCAA tournaments in the next couple of weeks. So against Clemson, you'll see that the Orange proved that they can really do it all with a consistent fast pace, quick passing, and unexpected technical shots like the one right here from Emma Ward. Pay attention to her. It's amazing what she can do. What UNC needs to worry about is the fact that what makes Syracuse so good is that they don't care about who's on them. They can get through any defender, even if it means faking someone out and doing a backhanded shovel, which is unbelievably difficult to do. So a player that college lacrosse really just can't get enough about, can't stop talking about, is Syracuse's Megan Tyrell, #18. She's able to beat 2 Virginia defenders, split through them with contact, turn her hips, and no matter where she is, when you watch her play, you can see that she can see the goal with several defenders blocking her view. So the game plan is crucial for UNC. Defense on top players, but you got to know that they can do it all, as well as scoring early while maintaining the momentum. What happens to Carolina is the Heels either get way too comfortable in the beginning and then their opponents go on 5-6 goal scoring streaks, or the fourth quarter gets bumpy and other teams catch up. So it's the #1 team in Syracuse, the only undefeated program so far in 2023, and you can't make a mistake, and miscommunication just can't happen. Bella?
Thanks, Caroline. Meeting in the middle. On Saturday, the men's lacrosse team will face off against the Syracuse Orange for their second matchup of the season. But this time, the 2 teams will meet in Maryland. The man of the match in the Heels' last game against Syracuse was Logan McGovern. He totaled 4 goals and 4 assists in the 19-13 win on the road. Lance Tillman and Antonio DeMarco were also key players, as each had a hat trick. The Heels are coming off a tough loss against Virginia and need this win if they want any hope of making the tournament. The game is set for 4 p.m. ACC championship play is officially underway at the Sedgefield Country Club for the UNC women's golf team, which competed the first 2 rounds on Thursday. Freshman Megan Stryker shot a combined score of even par 144 to lead the Heels, followed closely by Kayla Smith, who shot a 3 over 147. Carolina struggled as a team, though, finishing the day in 11th place of the 12 teams competing.
On Monday, we presented you with our 2 candidates for the Sports Extra Play of the Week. The people have voted. The winner by 2 votes is Vance Honeycutt. Late in the game against Georgia Tech last weekend, Honeycutt reads the ball perfectly. He gets a great jump, and he brings back what would have been a 2-run home run. What a catch. Now we're going to do a little demonstration because we're going to see if Bella can do it just as good as Vance. Okay, ready, Bella?
Mm-hmm.
And she's no Vance Honeycutt.
I'm not. There's a reason why I swam. I'm not Vance Honeycutt, but
make sure you tune in on Monday for 2 new plays to vote for.
That does it for this edition of Sports Extra. Join us Monday with all the highlights from another weekend of exciting Carolina athletics, and hopefully Vance can make a better catch in this one.